Godzilla in the Millennium Era challenges us to not forget our past, lest we be doomed to repeat it. What is that past? And who is that message for? The Millennium Era of Godzilla covers 6 films from 1999 to 2004. Godzilla was supposed to sleep until 2005, a 10-year slumber since the end of the era in 1995. But yet again, something awoke him early. And what brought Godzilla back? Was it the threat of a new monster? An attack from outer space? Some genetic mutation abomination? No, it was those darned Americans again. This time they went and did do a rebooted Godzilla on their own. Totally on their own. Without any help, except with the blessing of Toho Studios and with Sony's help. But still, is enough to wake up the beast. In preparation for the release of the new movie, Godzilla Minus One, we've set aside this week to examine the history of this subgenre. So grab your coffee and join us as we dig into the third period, the Millennium Era.
Let's be honest, all of them are kind of woken up by Americans. You have the original concept with the nuclear bombs, and then each time after that, Americans keep threatening to make a Godzilla that they didn't want. So they're like, "Oh, we gotta beat him up."
Well, yeah, this is to the third one. So yeah, two in a row with that one. Yes, I guess you could say that. Would you say this is for all audiences?
All of them?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely
going to be like
for
a
younger
repeat
audience. It basically a repeat. You gotta use your discernment with each individual movie. I don't think overall I don't think any of it's really spiritually destructive or any sort of detriment spiritually. So you can just enjoy these films, but again, just be discerning if you're a parent.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. That makes sense. I would agree with you on that. It's just
definitely the last one.
The
last one is just comedy, basically.
Well, they'll beat 'em ups, rock 'em, sock 'em, robot.
Yeah, comedy.
Well, no, you
want to watch it for the comedy.
This is serious. We are serious about this.
Serious about big monsters beating the crap out of each other
and destroying cities.
That's
why you must live in the country. It's better for you. Fewer monsters.
Yeah, in the kaiju world, live in the middle of nowhere.
That's right.
No one will disturb you.
And stay off fishing boats, because that's
no fishing boats.
That's also something that's not going to be good. Before we get started on these Japanese movies, we will have to talk about one other movie, and that is Godzilla in New York, the 1998 film directed by Roland Emmerich and starring Matthew Broderick. Now, if you did see this movie, did you see that one, by the way? Did you see that movie?
I have watched this one quite a few times. I actually granted, I was young when I watched it, so I was young and impressionable, and some people might say that I was misguided into this. I was deceived into believing that this was a decent movie. There are many that would say that this is the worst one ever. I would definitely say after watching it again, it hasn't aged well. It's aged more like milk than fine wine.
Fine milk. Fine rotten milk.
Fine rotten milk.
Why would you say it hasn't aged well?
Oh, the CGI is really bad.
All right. Well, okay.
It takes itself too seriously, where a lot of the Godzilla ones don't take themselves too seriously. So even with the age of it and seeing that the graphics are really bad, you can still really enjoy it because of being able to laugh at it and have fun with it. The Zilla one, not so much.
Okay. Well, there was a big push for it, and I think do we have a here? You do the clip for that. We got a clip for this. There's some good spots. I enjoyed it.
Some good points. They had some really bad points.
You weren't raised on Godzilla. To you, this was it. And
I remember watching Godzilla and Kong.
Okay,
it was wee little.
Okay,
that'd be the first one of this stuff I got into.
But and maybe looking back at it now, I think the acting's pretty bad. But I enjoyed it at the time. I didn't think it was all that bad.
So the American one,
The American one. We got a good clip from that. So we're going to talk over this one as it comes. And probably one of the better scenes. It's like you know what's going to happen. This poor guy.
It's so American. This really is.
Why is this America? This is there are no fishing boats.
Fishing boats falling down.
Okay.
Fishing boat.
All right, there was a boat.
There are lots of boats. Okay, they're falling everywhere. So we'll need to revisit that in the future because the Japanese didn't like that too much.
I guess not. I guess not. They really didn't. So with one exception. So now that one was a not really a financial loss, but it was a disappointment in the theaters. It ranks, if you look it up on IMDb, it ranks 5.4 out of 10. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it again to see if it was really that bad. But so with the Japanese ones, that's enough for to get these guys started. Oh, we must wake Godzilla. We must get going. And with one exception, the 6 films in this era, the Millennium Era, the Japanese movies, were more like an anthology than an entire sequence. There was not a series arc. They weren't really interconnected except for 2 of the movies. But each one was a standalone movie on its own, only being connected to the 1954 version of Godzilla. There was 2 in there that were connected. So I'm going to put up on the screen before I do that. I'm just going to show you the different ones you have. So you have Godzilla 2000 Millennium. And then you have Godzilla versus Megaguirus, and this was actually in 2000. It's a little confusing because the first one did come out in 2000. It came out in 1999, and then 2001 you had Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Monsters all out attack. So this would be the.
I love the Japanese names. They just keep getting longer.
They do. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, or do we have? I think these might. I got those 2 reversed. This is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and this is the All Monsters thing. And then,
I don't know. They both have Mechagodzilla in it.
They do. And then we have Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. So I put together a.
What about Final Wars?
That was Final Wars.
No, you said Tokyo S.O.S.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Final Wars. You're right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I got them mixed up. All right. So here I've got a chart that put out each of them and what their enemy was. And we're going to be going over the enemies here in a bit. But as you can see, they all lined up, boom, 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 one after another. And this was a pretty tough schedule to keep to punch them out. It's almost like people would get, I don't know, like superhero fatigue, seeing it all out once, and maybe the quality drops as you're doing this.
What's so funny is they've done this before, right? They do this, like they do expand of a bunch of movies every single year, boom, 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 until people get tired of it.
Right.
Then they take a break for 9 or 10 years, and then they come back and do it again.
Right. Yeah. So these are you got some clips here, right? You want to put up some of these clips so we can maybe scroll down.
There we go. Okay.
Which one do you want?
So we'll just go in order. First one.
Okay.
So remember the super high graphics of the 1990s.
Yes.
Fire!
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad. No, that is bad.
Random bite.
Dude, I wouldn't stop and watching this. I would just go on my daily. Not stopping. Not working. If I was one of those tanks, I'd take off.
See, it's still, even then, that's still not bad for the time period.
What was that from?
That is the first one, which was released in 1999.
1999. Okay, so that was
a year after the other Godzilla.
Okay.
So that one was an interesting one. So what are your thoughts on that one specifically?
Oh, okay. So the enemy here is Orga, this is humans dig up this UFO, right? They dig it up, and then it's kind of has an interesting storyline where it takes the DNA of Godzilla and then it starts to use that against him and creating this monster. But it was the problem was us. We dug up the UFO. We caused this problem.
And then an outside force needs to come save our butts again.
Right. Well, Godzilla just does his things. He smashes everybody up, and then we're able to get Godzilla comes and gets. We got basically a dogfight, and then once we're done, we got to get rid of the bad dogs. So, yeah.
Oh boy.
So, what was the next one here?
So the next one in line is the second one on your list.
Godzilla versus Megaguirus. Oh, yeah. So humans create a wormhole, goes back in time, and you got prehistoric dragonflies that come out.
Mosquitoes. Hell. Holy cow. So, hell with hatred.
Yeah, how do you actually do this? You know, this is an interesting concept. I mean, he's used to fucking big guys, right? He's like spraying right at him now. So how would you fight?
It's a completely different fighting
It is.
style than big ones. You've got all these little ones everywhere, all trying to.
Okay, so the
second
bad
blood.
guy is Megaguirus, the evolved form of this. It's like Pokemon, right? Evolved form of these dragonflies. Humans created this wormhole that caused the problem. I don't know if you're seeing a trend here or not.
And it seems to be science that normally does this. Opens up this issue, and then Godzilla comes and
causes problems, right? So we have put that up there. Robot for babies. Yeah, you know, I side with the poor dragonflies. I mean, it isn't their fault that they get dragged into, you know, the modern era. I mean, those poor guys. I mean, they're not going to last for very long, right? So
I hate mosquitoes no matter what form they come in. The answer is no.
Those are not mosquitoes, all right? We must have.
No, those are big, angry mosquitoes from hell.
That's right. Okay,
Holy cow.
that was 2000. It was actually in 2000 that came out. So 2001, you've got Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and giant monsters all out attack.
Dun, dun,
Like the WWE thing. So why don't you throw that up there and see?
Now, this one is a very interesting one. It's not a fight, but you might recognize this from another intro we did earlier on.
Why would we? Okay, go ahead.
So it's the movie.
Yeah, you got fish. That's Godzilla. No way. Yes.
Same thing.
So yeah, couldn't be outdone. We gotta show them up, and we're gonna show the real one here, right? Not your big chin, dorky little one. This is a big Godzilla towering over the American one. And yes,
Yep, there's the boat.
And got the fishing boat. Okay.
And got the fishing boat. Have to have the fishing boat in there. Now that's interesting because it does show quite a bit of difference between the two cultures, where the American one is very actiony. Things are exploding, blowing up left and right. And here you have Godzilla just pops out of the water. And a fishing boat falls off because they want reference.
I think there's a lot of action there. I might disagree with you.
It's a different type of action.
Yeah.
That they're presenting.
Yeah.
So
okay, then we got do you have another clip for that? Was that the one for
that was the one for that?
Okay. So 2002, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Against Mechagodzilla.
Now, in this one, this is different. This is the only one that has a follow-up with it. Is a two-part. So this is the first part, and then you got a second part, the next movie after this. So
which makes sense because they both have Mechagodzilla in it.
They do. Now, in this one, you have a pilot. It's Lieutenant Yashiro, and she is controlling Mechagodzilla. She's the one who is doing the mechanized kaiju, and then this is where technology actually helps out, and it's the focus is
finally. We got multiple movies into this thing. Finally, technology comes in and helps.
There's a different twist on this because it's not so much focused on Godzilla himself, more the human story that's behind it, which was different from the others. So you got a clip for this one here.
Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Okay. Oh, he's remembering. Okay, so
flashback, PTSD.
Yeah, well, what it was is it was based off of the skeleton of the previous Godzilla. So it has memories, and then it freaks out and it does
goes on rampage.
Right. So here we go.
Normal Godzilla rampage, but this time with missiles and lasers.
Right. Yeah. So this was there was an interesting twist in that. Now how skeletons have muscle memory or just memory in general is a good question. But yeah, so it's the synapses were supposedly in the skeleton itself. So then you have the follow-up to that, Godzilla
Power Rangers flashback.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Sorry, comment real quick.
Yeah. So I guess you would look at it almost looks plastic.
Yeah, it does. You know? Well, it probably is. I would be highly surprised if they sprung for a metal suit.
Right. But there's some things that you can do to make it look more like an Iron Man type of get at.
I do admit Power Rangers, though, is an interesting one. The whole history behind Power Rangers is kind of hilarious. Definitely America. We might have to do something about that.
I don't know.
Power Rangers.
I don't know.
That was funny.
I don't know if we want to do Power Rangers. That was like goofiness. I think I'd steer away
It was
from that.
goofy because I took clips from their original Japanese one and just added the Americans to it.
Yeah. Yep. So this was the follow-up in 2003, Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. You had Mechagodzilla again, this time a different pilot, but they dropped Mothra in. And this one, it didn't look like they had spent a whole lot of time on versus the previous one. Could be that they were ramping up for Godzilla Final Wars the next year because that was the 50th year anniversary. So do you have a clip for this guy?
And remember, it's the same studio pushing out these every year.
Yes, Toho.
So you definitely have to get the recording done ASAP because there's a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, you can imagine. And special effects.
So here we go with that clip.
Or 60s or even 50s, definitely 50s. But okay, so those almost like a two-parter. Again, you've got Mechagodzilla, this time human technology being pretty much the savior in this. A bit of a story, bit of the background, not as much as the previous one. And then the last one, the movie they had, Godzilla Final Wars. 14 flipping kaiju monsters all in this monster bash. And
you got the monster mash playing in the background. They would be athletic.
Yes, it would. But how did they get there? And these were by environmental disasters. These monsters came up because of.
Is it Americans again?
No, not Americans. These are just human beings.
Okay, good.
In general,
we were starting to get a really bad name in Godzilla.
Yeah, no. All these other problems are just generally caused by mankind doing what we do best and causing some problems. So you got a clip for us here or not?
Yeah, and let's be honest, even though we had the little reference earlier on in one of the earlier videos of the intro, let's be honest, they didn't beat him up enough. So they need to bring in guest characters.
I know what you're talking about.
Nuke them.
Not even a contest.
Nope.
That'll show you, stupid Americans. Okay, so
but that one's an interesting one, even though it was kind of flop.
Yeah,
it didn't make back the money.
Yeah, I read in some of the comments after the movie came out that the theaters were kind of empty on that one.
It wasn't a bad movie either. Granted, it was completely different, and it was really kind of dorky, but all in all, I didn't think it was bad for what it was.
Okay, so I've got some questions here. So our whole point of doing this isn't just to poke fun of anything or to highlight
or go down memory alley.
Right. The whole point is to take these, pull out some themes, some principles, and then to say, hey, what can you use as points of conversations to talk about? I use the term eternal themes, eternal concepts. These are things that you can talk to people basically about Jesus and about God and stuff. So there was two things that really came out in this. One was the third movie, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack, which got the prize for the longest title on that one. What really energized Godzilla on this one was something totally unique. You hadn't seen this before. It was the souls of those who were killed during World War II, specifically in the Pacific, that are embedded with Godzilla and lashing out due to modern Japan's denial of its past crimes. Basically, there's movement within Japan to say we all forget about the bad stuff we did. We only look at the good stuff we did, and totally forgetting about what they were responsible for during World War II. So Godzilla comes out and he's making them pay for choosing to forget their past actions. And so that was a real commentary. Actually.
It's a good message just in general. Do not forget what has happened. Do not forget the crimes that have been committed. Do not forget the wrongs that have been committed. Don't dwell on them too much.
Right.
But at the same time, don't let those be forgotten, because if you fail to learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it.
And that was what we said earlier at the opening of this live stream, is to say that who is this message for? I think it's a message for everyone. It was intended mostly for a Japanese audience to say, hey, let's not forget and gloss over that we kind of went a little bonkers with the whole imperialistic thing. But this is a warning for anyone, not just not so much on a national level, although that exists there too. It's on a personal level, not to forget, not to be named or to be ruled by your past or your past sins, but to recognize them as what they were, the bad that was done, and the very fact that you could slip back into that again. So what, how that, I mean, that opens up all sorts of conversations about this. What do you do with your sins? What do you do with, I mean, if you don't even want to use necessarily Christianese with somebody, don't say sins. What do you do with all the mistakes and the betrayals and the heartache that you caused other people, all these past crimes that you've done? Do you just gloss over it? Do you dwell in it? Do you, what do you do? First, you go to the cross for repentance from Jesus. But besides that, how do you live out your life? And these are all points that we can use as conversation to talk to people about.
Yeah, this one by itself is a very powerful one to use as an opener. Definitely, because you get people who are, completely into this, just fully into Godzilla, just, got the toys, go to, all the cons, dressed up as Godzilla and all this. And this could really open up the door into a conversation on how do you deal with the things you've done in the past, your regrets, the sins that you've committed, or if you want to try to use a different word for that, so you don't get the reaction to any sort of religion, is the mistakes you've made, your errors, your mess ups.
Yeah, and sometimes you can gloss over that and say, well, it was just a mistake or whatever. But what if they're intentional? You actually went out and did this, whatever it would be, fill in the blank. So truth, being truthful about it. You can't change your way. You can't make a U-turn if you believe it's okay, because you're going to continue going the same way. So truth is there. The word repentance is also something. It's another Christianese term, but it's a U-turn. Basically, you're turning around. You're going the other way.
You're no longer pursuing that path. You have repented of it.
It's a GPS course correction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of here. I'm going to do something else.
And that movie opens up that opportunity to have that conversation.
And then humility too is also a big part of it. So all these things.
Mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now that this particular Godzilla was not in all of them. This was just in the third one with the Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, all giant monsters all out attack movie. But it was you do see a thread through all of these, most of them, saying that humans are responsible for the problems that Godzilla is coming out. So if you any other comments?
Not on that one? No.
Okay. I got to throw this. I got to throw this up here. Okay. Yes. Yes.
In the country, do not use a small fishing boat.
No.
Small fishing boat.
Not even the big ones are safe. I'm sorry to say, but you know what? Let's just be honest. Stay out the way when Godzilla's around. And I am a big believer in living in small places. So yeah, there's that too. So if you've enjoyed this time together, then please let us know and share this and subscribe. And if you want to see more, check us out for tomorrow. We're going to come back with another era. We're going to look at the Reiwa era of Godzilla. All getting ready for seeing the movie this weekend and then having a big review, following up, fresh review. And if you want to see us for that, that'd be fantastic.
That would be on Monday, right? The big review.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to do it Saturday. But
no,
yes,
we definitely need to do it Monday.
Okay, it is Monday.
We do it Monday.
It is Monday.
Same time. So we have it.
Same channel.
And there will be some interesting things that happen during the live stream.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Again, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you then.